Greville Henwood with Groovy Kids Yoga. Our Bikram yoga pose is good for stretching bones and muscles. All types of yoga are wonderful for stretching muscles, but bones don't stretch. Unless, of course, you're in the 15th century on a rack, and even then bones don't stretch, they simply pull apart at the joints. But all yoga is wonderful for stretching muscles. So we'll look at 4 specific poses in the Bikram yoga sequence that each stretch a different set of muscles. In Bikram yoga, this pose is called the triangle pose. The triangle shape is derived from the top finger down to the back heel, down to the front heel. Externally rotating the front leg is wonderful for the thigh and also for the lower back. So the leg is turning from inside to outside. The back leg should be straightened fully, and as the right buttock bone draws underneath you, the top of the left thigh should be pressed back. Arms spread wide apart. The gaze can be taken upwards or kept downwards if that's better for your neck. Spread the toes, anchor down into the floor, and breathe deeply across the chest in the triangle pose. The second one we'll look at today is called the child's pose, or Ardha Kurmasana, as it's called in Sanskrit, in the Bikram yoga sequence. So we take the knees together for more intensity, slightly wider apart for lesser intensity. This particular pose is very calming, but it will also help to stretch all of the muscles of the back, and if we extend the arms, it'll also help to stretch the arms. So we place the forehead on the floor. One version is to rest the arms, and you can see clearly how the back is rounded, especially the lower back, so the back is stretched here. But then we can also make the pose active by extending the arms forward, pressing your hands down into the floor, lifting your forearms up away from the floor. To keep the broadness of the shoulders, the outer upper arm should be drawn downwards while the inner upper arm is drawn upwards. Keep the hands flat, keep reaching back through the sitting bones, but also forwards through the fingertips. The next pose in this little sequence is called Bhujangasana, or the Cobra Pose. So we lie flat on our stomachs with the toes pointing backwards. Important is to engage the legs by pressing the feet down. Also, what we tend to find is that most people arch the lower back, so the buttocks have to be drawn towards the heels while pressing the feet down. The hands are placed next to the chest with the elbows drawn in, the shoulders lifted, pulled back, and then the chest can be lifted off the floor to a comfortable degree. One can take this pose higher and higher, but the main thing is not to let the shoulders creep upwards, to keep the shoulders down, and also don't let the elbows splay out, but keep the elbows in. Keep the inner hand flat and pull yourself off the mat to stretch fully the front of the body and the legs. The fourth stretch in this little sequence is called Supta, meaning upward facing or supine. Supta Virasana, which is called the hero's pose. So we keep the knees as close together as you can, press down into the feet, and then lean back on the elbows. Tuck the buttocks under so the lower back is long. And then from here, this may be enough. For some people, you'll feel a big stretch in the front of the legs. However, you can go further down, all the way to the floor. Keep extending the buttocks towards the heels, and you can also stretch the arms over the head. Always, to come out of the pose, come out the same way you went in. Press down into the floor, lift up slowly, pause at the top. Take a couple of deep breaths.